that for all of the successes and mali o ano, I and I alone take full legal, moral responsibility. Yan ang iniiwan ko sa inyo.
Inducing, encouraging, and prodding people to kill directly or indirectly is not part of the duty of an executive official, whether it is mayor or president. Mr. Chair and the honorable members of the subcommittee conducting today's inquiry. We can destroy and we need to destroy drugs, but we cannot destroy lives. Yan po ang sagot ko dun sa very passionate defense of the former president as to his policy of killing alleged drug offenders, alleged drug pushers, alleged drug users. We can destroy drugs, but we need not destroy lives. I just wish to emphasize that. I said that in my privileged speech in August 2016, after I filed a Senate inquiry, a resolution calling for Senate inquiry. This man, the former mayor of Davao City and the former president of the Republic of the Philippines, for so long have evaded justice and accountability for the thousands of those killed in the name of the so-called war on drugs. Hindi pa ho natin siya napapanagot after all these years. And these killings had started nung time pa niya as mayor, yung phenomenon ng Davao Death Squad. Pinatuloy niya at nagiging klarado dun sa mga naririnig natin sa House of Representatives Quadcom hearings that yun din ang ginawang modelo ng war on drugs starting 2016. I was hoping that Colonel Garma and the others who already testified there at the Quadcom hearings, including also Kerwin Espinosa, would be here so that our discussions, our presentations would be in sync with each other, or that we listen to them again, and then I will respond to them. Now, I responded to the crisis that we faced starting in 2016, as I said, by filing the resolution and by delivering a privileged speech. Ang problema, hindi ko po yun natuloy, yung aking pag-imbestiga noong mga nangyayaring patayan early on dun sa nung naging Pangulo si Rodrigo Duterte. Malungkot po ako, or actually I have mixed feelings now. People have been asking me, how do you feel that you're again appearing before the Senate for the first time? I'm setting foot in the premises of the Senate. Ang sabi ko, mixed feelings dahil sana nga noon pa, hindi na natin hinintay yung libo-libong mga pinatay. Pero nagagalak naman ako that I think we have the right environment now. Sana po, marami pa ang lumantad para magsabi pa kung ano talaga ang tunay na layunin ng Project Double Barrel. Yung kulang ho kasi noon, nung nag-imbestiga ako, when I presided over the Senate committee hearings, yes, we were able to present, actually, konti lang, 2 lang ata out of the 13 available CHR witnesses. But because I was eventually ousted as the chairperson of the committee, after I presented Mr. Edgar Matubato, hindi na po yun natuloy. Pero, ang talagang magiging kulang ng investigation na yon ay yung mga insider na makakapagpatunay sa atin na yung Project Double Barrel is the very program that was used in eliminating and in killing drug suspects. Because malinaw sa mga naging pronouncements ng dating mayor, ng dating pangulo, na yan ang pinaka-polisiya na niya in addressing the drug problem. Nasabi na ho kanina, yung mga examples, at marami pa ho yun. I have a whole collection of his statements which really categorically show very clearly, manifestly, that he was inducing, encouraging the killings. And it cannot just be purely rhetoric. Kasi sinunod yung mga binanggit niya. Sinunod yung kanyang mga sinasabi na kailangang patayin ng mga yan. Manlanlaban man o hindi, ang problema sa nanlaban, hindi ho kapanipaniwala. Siguro may ilan-ilan na may mga nanlaban talaga. Pero sa karamihan, sa mga lumabas na mga kwento ng mga kaanak ng mga biktima, ay karamihan sa kanila ay hindi nanlaban. Ano ba yung nangyari sa akin? Hindi lang sila nakontento na alisin ako bilang committee chairperson, but sinundan po ako ng katakot-takot na acts of persecution. Kasama na yung halos araw-araw na minumura, halos araw-araw na pinapahiya, halos araw-araw na I was deprived of my honor, and because they tried to destroy my reputation. At hindi pa ho sila nakontento doon, nag-file sila ng mga gawag-gawang mga kaso para subukan ako na mapatahimik. Hindi po sila nagtagumpay doon. Kahit nasa loob po ako sa kulungan, I continued to monitor what was happening. I had with me already the records ng Senate investigation, at least nung ako pa yung nag-preside. I even filed and submitted a comprehensive dissenting report dun sa naging majority report by the committee, the Gordon report. I filed a dissenting report. I also had the records of my investigation of the DDS phenomenon. Pero ang isa pong ang pwede nating makita doon is that hindi natin mga natapos yun kasi nandyan yung atmosphere of, or the atmosphere of fear, the culture of fear and impunity. Sa Davao, meron kaming ilan-ilan na kausap na sekreto, pero hindi naman sila pumayag na i-present sila publicly dun sa DDS inquiry ng CHR. Now, dun naman sa Senate inquiry, sabi ko nga, hindi naman talaga tinuloy. Kaya hindi kagulat-gulat na yung naging conclusion ng majority is that the killings were not state-sponsored. Kung binigyan sana ng pagkakataon na talagang ituloy yung investigasyon na yon, na mas magiging seryoso ang investigasyon, wala man lang iniisip na whitewash ng investigasyon because the then president was still at the height of his power, ay siguro pwede natin na-prove yun. Hindi nga po yun nangyari. Ngayon tayo umaasa na dahil dyan sa mga lumalabas na mga revelasyon, pwedeng-pwede at nandyan na yung mga ebidensya na mga state-sponsored yung mga killings na yan. So, one last point,
Ma'am,
Mr.
go ahead.
Chair.
Yeah.
Because,
1 minute, yes ma'am.
all right. Now, gusto ko sanang magpaalam sa committee that in my presentation, not today, because yung presentation ko dapat na ano rin, isusundan ko yung kina Father Flavi and then kay Attorney Jokno. Now I want also to present new angle. Gusto ko sanang i-tie pa talaga, i-link pa talaga sa DDS killings yung mga nangyaring patayan since 2016 or pagpatay under the name of war on drugs. I would wish to ask for permission that that's going to be the focus, especially so na lumilinaw ngayon, sinimulan na nung testimony ni Colonel Agarma na yun ang ginawang model. I would not have the time now to really explain all of that. But I can really come up with a comprehensive summary ng mga sinabi noon nila Edgar Matobato, yung mga sinabi subsequently ni Arturo Las Cañas, who at first denied that there was a DDS, denied responsibility for the killings, denied that it was then Mayor Rodrigo Duterte responsible for that. But in a subsequent appearance, wala na po ako noon, nakakulong na po ako, he recanted and gave us this very comprehensive story, lalo na dun sa kanyang ICC affidavit. I would want to
Sige ma'am.
present
Yes ma'am. Okay.
a
Can you
comprehensive-
wrap up? Okay na po ma'am?
for now.
Okay, sige po. Ganito po. We will give you the time, pero pwede ba mag-request din ng committee, can you give us a preview of what you will be presenting? Siguro if you can organize also your observations and your findings in a memorandum or position paper type document, then
I will
please
do
give
that.
us. Thank you.
I will do that, Your Honor,
Sige.
including the dissenting report and then including
Thank you, ma'am.
all of the observations. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, just very short.
Yes,
Very short. Can we have the
Sige.
assurance of Senator De Lima to be around once Kerwin Espinosa and Ronnie Dayan will be present in this hearing? Because I'm going to ask him questions pag andyan na yung
Who is,
dalawa, Mr. Chair.
may I know who is Rolly Dayan?
Ronnie Dayan was a known driver of Senator De Lima, Mr.
Oh,
Chair.
Is he the partner of Senator De Lima?
Mr. Chair,
That was revealed by Ronnie Dayan during the previous hearing many years ago, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Let's focus on our topic. Okay, gentlemen. Okay, sige, ganito. Already moved na yata yung kanina pa, no? Na Ronnie Dayan will be invited to the next hearing. Senator Laila De Lima has manifested her intention to attend the next meeting. So, the next hearing. So, tugma-tugma lahat.
Yes, Your Honor, because
you want to
that's
respond?
where I will make a
Yes,
comprehensive presentation and also comment on those revelations by Mr. Kerwin Espinosa
Yeah.
during the Quadcom, and perhaps he is expected to reiterate that here. I was hoping he would be here,
Yes.
including Colonel.
You will be there as a resource person, ma'am. You'll be there as a resource person, not to defend yourself. Wala, hindi resource person po kayo. Okay,
Mr. Chair, if I
okay,
may.
sa Senate
Thank you,
President.
Mr. Chair. A few questions addressed to former Senator De Lima. During your time as chairperson of the Commission on Human Rights, when did you start serving as the chairman of the Commission on Human Rights, if I may ask?
I was appointed in 2008
Up to 2010.
to 2010.
All right.
When I was appointed as the Secretary of
All right.
Justice.
Did you conduct investigations regarding EJ case?
Yes,
Madam
the CHR and bank
All right.
conducted public inquiry right
Right.
there in Davao City.
May I know kung ano-ano po yung mga lugar na inimbestigahan nyo tungkol sa EJK?
Yung tungkol pa sa lugar, it was actually the entirety of Davao City, because of the phenomenon of GDS. At inimbitahan nga po namin the former mayor who appeared and acted as resource person, and mga ilan-ilan na mga opisyal, maraming opisyal actually, the city councilors, barangay chairman, PNP officials. Only that, halos wala na nag-appear dun sa mga nakausap namin discreetly, confidentially, who shared their knowledge about the GDS. These are also self-confessed GDS members, just like Edgar Matubato. Kaya lang po, in the 2009 inquiry, wala pa po sila Edgar Matubato and Arturo Las Cañas. Na-mention yung mga pangalan nila, pero wala pa po sila doon. Hindi pa ho namin sila na-access at hindi ho na-present doon sa GDS inquiry.
So wala ho kayong results ng investigation. Were there any cases filed because of your investigation, Madam Senator?
Okay, when I was appointed in 2010, meron po ako yung aking mga personal investigation notes, pero wala pa ho yung naging resolution. Now, we turned over the records to the Commission on Human Rights, and then later, they came out with the resolution. Now, that was, I think, in 2012, June 20, 2012. Yung resolution nila, one of the recommendations is for the filing of an administrative and criminal cases against then former Mayor Rodrigo Duterte and some other officials. What I know is that this was referred to the office of the Ombudsman, but I think later on, Mr. Duterte was cleared of, there was no finding or no cases filed.
So the former president
against-
was cleared? Am I
No,
correct?
it was not really cleared because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the main reason why no cases were filed with the Ombudsman against former Mayor Duterte and then President Duterte is that
If you-
nung linabas na po yung from the Ombudsman is he was already the president.
Well,
So on
during,
the presidential immunity.
in the course of your investigation, when you were CHR chairman, and you think that the former president was involved in killings in his hometown in Davao, why didn't you file cases against him?
The investigation was conducted. But the problem was that those who were in the know, yung konti ho na mga self-confessed DDS members at that time, they're not willing
No.
to
When
testify.
When you were DOJ secretary, why didn't you file a case against the former president? You had all the means, you had all the power to do so. When you were secretary of the Department of
I
Justice.
actually referred the matter of when Edgar Matubato came to us for witness protection. I rinifer ko po uli yung the DDS matter
So what
to
happened?
wala po.
Oh,
Wala
bakit
po.
wala? You were a very, very powerful member of the cabinet during the Aquino administration. You did not do anything?
It's not
To
that I
pursue
did
the
not
case?
do anything.
To pursue
It's
the
just
case?
that I asked the NBI to pursue further the investigation. Pero wala na po na i-submit sa akin na report. They were telling me that they had also so much difficulty accessing possible witnesses at the time.
All right. One more thing, Madam former Senator. Why is it only in Davao that you had this investigation? Bakit Davao lang? Why were you so focused and why are you so concentrated in investigating Davao?
We were focused on investigating the so-called DDS phenomenon because we have read some reports about it, foremost of which was the report of the UN Special Rapporteur Phillips Alston. And he did come out with that report citing certain findings. of the UN Special Rapporteur Philip Alston, and meron din pong report, yung Human Rights Watch, they called it "You Can Die Anytime," also referring to the DDS phenomenon. So we felt that at that time, because of these reports, and our CHR regional office did confirm that there were killings, but they could not tell us, or they refused to tell us, that it was actually the doings of the DDS on orders of then Mayor Rodrigo Duterte. But the insiders, the ones I mentioned kanina, I think there were 3 of them, which we interviewed secretly or discreetly, they did say that there was such a thing as a group as a Davao Death Squad, and then formed by the former mayor, and then getting orders also from the former mayor, something that were validated later on by Edgar Matubato and Arturo Las Cañas.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I would like to invite the attention of the former senator when she was still a sitting member of the Senate. With regard to the committee report of the Committee on Justice then, for the years, if I may read, for the years 2001 to 2009, under the Arroyo administration, 91,762 killings were reported, or an average of 10.196 killings per year, 850 killings per month, or 28 killings per day. On the other hand, for the years 2010 to 2016, under the Aquino administration, there were 85,878 recorded killings, with an average of 14,313 killings per year, 1,193 killings per month, or 40 killings per day. You were the Justice Secretary during the Aquino administration. Why did you not investigate these killings?
All right. May I start by saying that on the matter of EJKs in general, especially with respect to the killings of activists, I did recommend, and it was adopted, there was this Administrative Order number 35, creating an interagency committee to look into the various drug killings, to the various activist killings, targeting members of progressive groups, leftist organizations, and that was somewhat rampant during the time of former President Arroyo. Now, bakit wala pa po yung drug killings? Kasi nga po, pinapapursu ko pa sa NBI. It was not the real focus then of Administrative Number 35, which is the Special Interagency Committee to address extrajudicial killings. Now, talking about the Gordon report, you mentioned the Justice Committee report, which was subsequently headed by former Senator Dick Gordon. Sinabi nga niya po yun, na bakit yung EJKs lang, bakit yung ibang mga EJKs ay hindi natin kailangan imbestigahan o hindi natin inimbestigahan dun sa Senate Committee. Mukhang may problema po sa ganun. Kasi ang nakita ng committee, ng majority committee in coming up with that committee report is that, well, hindi actually nila nakita na may special complexion at the time, at the start of the drug war killings beginning 2016 under the Duterte administration. I'm not talking about the drug war killings kasi wala namang ganong war on drugs specifically in Davao City, although among those, or many of those victimized, were also alleged drug offenders aside from petty criminals and other kinds of criminals. So, nakita dawat yun, and that was the very point of my resolution that I filed calling for an inquiry, na medyo Ibang fenomeno nito ngayon sa war on drugs na ito sa ngalan ng war on drugs ay may mga pinapatay in numbers, substantial numbers, in the name of war on drugs. Kaya dapat, hindi yun naging issue talaga. Bakit hindi na lang natin imbestigahan yung buong mga pangyayari ng mga EJKs in various administrations? What they failed to appreciate, I'm talking about the committee report, is that the focus of my investigation ay yung mga dumadami na halos araw-araw na pinapatay since day one of the former president's assumption into office. And even before his official assumption into office, meron na talaga na mga pinapatay araw-araw, halos araw-araw, nakita natin yon.
Thank you, ma'am.
So that's supposed to be
Mr. Chair.
the focus.
Ma'am, teka muna, Senate President Pro Tem. No? Reminder to everyone, especially the members of the committee. Ang subcommittee natin, ang instruction natin, Philippine War on Illegal Drugs. Okay. I know malaking overlap niya sa EJK because marami siguro ngang napatay in the name of Philippine War on Illegal Drugs. But this is not strictly an EJK hearing or investigation. Okay? Basta klaruhin ko lang po sa inyo lahat, lalo na sa members na subcommittee. May mother committee tayo, yun ang instruction sa atin. Investigate the Philippine war on illegal drugs.
I'm sorry, but I have to respond to the remarks of Senator De Lima. It is only fair na bigyan niyo ako ng 1 minute. And I have read, this is part of my speech, but I want to make it of record. Ito yung the long and short sa trabaho ko. Nung mayor ako, pati presidente ako, is that the jobs nung dalawang trabaho was never easy. And it was not meant to be. I have tried to do the best I can to address the problem of illegal drugs and without compromise. Kasali na lahat yung naririnig ninyo. Whatever it is, hindi ako nag-compromise. Sinabi ko, ito. Pagka pumasok kayo dyan, walang compromise, walang ariglo, walang usapan. Do not do it in my city. Nung presidente ako, sabi ko, bitawan ninyo. Kasi pag hindi, magkakaroon talaga tayo ng problema. Ito na nga itong ngayon. As I have tried to do the best I can to address the problem of illegal drugs firmly and without compromise. Yan ang gusto ko lang iiwan dito bago ako aalis. O bago ako alis sa mundong ito. For all of its successes and shortcomings, it was not a perfect one. Maraming mali. Baka may maraming krimen. Alam mo, gusto ko lang iiwan ito sa Pilipino. I would never have any other chance maybe in the future. That for all of the successes and mali o ano, I and I alone take full legal, moral responsibility. Yan ang iniiwan ko sa inyo. I am ready for your questions.
Okay, so, pursuant to our guidelines, we will now commence the questioning. We will have to start with our Senate officers. So I now recognize Senator Jinggoy Estrada. You have 10 minutes, sir. 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Some questions addressed to the former President. Mr. President, kanina pa ho kayo tingin na tingin sa amin. Lagi kayo tumitingin sa kanan. Hindi ho kayo tumitingin sa kaliwa. Nagpapansinan na ba kayo ni Senator De Lima?
Wala maganda dyan, dito lang.
Anyway,
Mr. Chair.
to be serious,
Yes,
on a serious
Mr.
note,
Chair,
sir.
I think,
I beg
Senator Jinggoy,
the
Senator
SP Pro
Rizal,
Tempore to lead us in setting the tone that this is not a laughing matter.
I'm
Yes,
not,
Salamat,
I,
Mr.
I,
Chair.
I was not joking.
I was just, para ma-lighten lang yung mood, Mr. Chair. Anyway, on a serious note,
Yes, okay.
Mr.
Continue.
President, how do you assess the campaign against illegal drugs during your time, Mr. President? Do you consider it as a success, Mr. President?
Mr. Senator, it is a continuing problem for the country and for the entire world. The drug problem is a very serious and pernicious, virulent ailment that the country is facing. Panahon ko and the previous presidents, yung panahon ko, hindi siguro ninyo nagustuhan, not you, yung the entire country. I am addressing the entire country. Baka hindi ninyo nagustuhan. But yun ang style ko. Sinabi ko nga, I tried to do the best that I could. Eh kung nagkulang ako, pasensya. Pero ang solusyon during my time was a call of duty of the President. Ako yun. Kasi ako yung presidente sa panahon ko. At hindi po ako nagkulang, Mr. Senator. Nag-warning ako lahat narinig ng Pilipinas. Huminto kayo sa droga. Bitawan ninyo, drop it. Kasi magkakaproblema talaga tayo. Pag nakita tayo sa isang kanto at hawak mo ang droga, problema na talaga yan. So, yun na, nagkakaroon tayo ng problema. May patayan. But it was not a state-sponsored killing. There was never an official order to the police and the military and to the agents of government to kill. Andyan si Senator De La Rosa. Wala akong sinabi na ganon kasi abogado ako. Ang sinabi ko, yung sinabi ko nung nagtuturo ako sa Police Academy, that in your fulfillment of duty, yung elements of self-defense would apply to you pag you are trying to arrest a person. Alam mo, ang trabaho ng pulis kasi, pag sinabi mong aarestuhin kita, hindi hinto dyan. The police must arrest and overcome the resistance para madala mo yung kriminal doon sa istasyon at mabok mo para makulong. Yan ang problema at naawa ako sa mga pulis. Hindi mo masabi, bitawan mo yung baril at pag hindi sumunod, sabihin lang ng pulis, o sige, bukas makita tayo dito, huwag ka nang magdala ng baril. Po, hindi yun ang tinuro ko sa kanila. Nagtuturo ako sa Police Academy. Yan, lahat yan sila dumaan sa akin. Yan, because, yan ang turo ng sa College of Law. That's the law. Kung ano yung sinabi ko sa pulis, batas yan. Walang compromise dyan when you are arresting a person. If he resists, pag ayaw magpa-aresto, you have to overcome him. His resistance. Ngayon, pag lumaban, nagkaletse-letse, may baril, may magpatayan talaga. Kaya yan ang problema ng pulis, kaya naawa ako. Kaya ako rin nandito, guns, siguro, paano na rin ng God sent yung invitation ninyo. Naawa ako dito sa mga pulis na tinatawag ninyo at inaano ninyo, yung trabaho ng pulis kasi involves personal contact. Walang trabaho sa pulis, sabihin niya, alika dito, bitawan mo yan, mag-surrender ka, sumama ka sa akin. It is always a confrontation, and if the other guy is armed, there will always be kamatayan or injuries.
Mr. President, if I may...
Yes, sir.
Kasi napapanood ko kayo sa TV, nung hindi pa ho ako senador, during your term, na meron ho kayo sinasabi, uubusin ko kayo, papatayin ko kayo. Ano po ibig sabihin? Sino po yung uubusin ninyo? Sino yung papatayin ninyo? Ito ba yung mga user, mga pusher ng illegal drugs?
Yes, sir. Lahat. Hold-upper, kidnappers.
Hindi lang sa drugs?
Hindi lang droga, sir. Lahat po. When I was mayor, kalaban ko lahat ang criminals. Huwag naman yung mga staff, wala akong pakialam dyan, yung mga tseke-tseke. Yung mga kidnappers, sa Mindanao po, marami yan. At yung mga lawless elements doon, when they go on a rampage, they take over the entire municipality. I-hostage na lang yung municipality, yung bangko lahat doon, hino-hold up, at yung police hindi makagalaw kasi nakapalibot sila and there are civilians. And they cannot start a war because the civilians eventually will be killed in the process. Pati sila.
Nung sinabi niyo pong uubusin ko kayo lahat, papatayin ko kayo lahat, ito ba ho yung naging resulta kaya marami hong naging patayan, Ginoong Pangulo?
Literally, yes.
So, pero wala ho kayong inuutos sa mga dating chief of police ninyo,
Sir,
chief of PNP na pumatay?
Warning lang na istorya mo lang yan, sir.
Chismis lang ho?
Alam mo, pagka mayor ka o presidente ka, pag sinabi mo, hoy, huminto kayo dyan, masama yan, illegal yan, walang mangyari sa syudad mo. Pag sinabi mo, huminto kayo, papatayin ko kayo. Pag hindi sila huminto, of course, the police would come in. Sabihin ko sa police, pag naghawak ng baril, ito yan sila, dumaan yan sa Davao lahat. Koy, pati, ito, si Danao, lahat yan sila, dumaan ng Davao. Ang order ko talaga sa kanila, pag maghawak ng baril, patayin mo na para one less criminals Eh bukas mag-hold up na naman yan, may poproblema na naman tayo. Ganon rin sa po, sir.
So, Ginong Pangulo, nung mayor po kayo ng Davao, do you confirm the existence of the Davao Death Squad?
No, sir.
Wala ho
Wala.
Davao Death Squad. So ano po yung iniimbestigahan ni former Senator De Lima nung siya chairperson ng Commission on Human Rights? Ang iniimbestigahan po niya yung DDS, if I'm correct. Am I correct?
I don't know how the term was coined.
Senator De Lima, were you investigating the Davao Death Squad when you were chair of the CHR?
Yes, that was the
But
focus.
the former president doesn't confirm the existence of the Davao Death Squad.
That has been his position nung tinanong ko ho siya, nung nag-appear siya sa public inquiry, na there's no such thing as DDS. But there are people, there are witnesses who said that there is such a thing as Davao Death Squad. It may not be the correct term, or it may not really be or explicitly called the Davao Death Squad.
Who
But,
coined
euphemistically.
who coined that name, that phrase, the Davao Death Squad?
I think it was media, it was certain sectors, certain groups.
But it was not the CHR which you headed before, Madam Senator.
We knew it to be as Davao Death Squad because of the various reports. But it did not originate from us, the term Davao Death Squad. What is clear to us is that there was this group of assassins, and some of them are actually part of the Davao City Police Office. And there are also the Abanteros, the assassins themselves, with respective handlers. And already, Mr. Matubato and Mr.
Yeah.
Lascani all heard from the horse's mouth that there are indeed death squads, and pointed to certain former PNP chiefs or chiefs of Davao. These are very clear. Davao Death Squad to liquidate criminals, suspected criminals. Inducing, encouraging, and prodding people to kill directly or indirectly is not part of the duty of an executive official, whether it is mayor or president. Malinaw po, yung Davao Death Squad andyan. Marami pong sinabi dyan tungkol sila Matubato and Las Cañas. And Colonel Garma has confirmed that there is such a group, only that they are covered by code of silence. Hindi po madali talaga ang kumuha ng mga pag-aamin sa mga police officials na sila ang mga inutusan para pumatay. Ang dami pong mga dinarrate sila Matubato and Las Cañas tungkol sa mga specific cases of killings na yung order either pinapadaan kina Sonny Benaventura or kay Las Cañas, and at times even from then Mayor
Mr. Chair.
Duterte himself.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good Senator.
Yes, you have the floor, you have the floor. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The former senator is jumping into conclusion. Let the committee decide whether indeed there is an existence of the Davao Death Squad.
Senator Estrada, may I
Yes.
just...
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Mr. President.
One statement. Kung lahat man ito, kung totoo, palayan niyo ako ng kaso. May korte. At sinasabi ninyo na bakit ninyo nalaman na matay, na ganun-ganun. So, ibig sabihin may witnesses kayo. O, file the case in court or file the cases in court. Sabi ko nga dito sa ano ko, mine and mine alone. Gusto ko ang syudad ko maganda, malinis, at livable. At sa awa ng Diyos, ako ang nauna sa Pilipinas. Alam mo bakit, sir? Ako po'y empleyado lang ng gobyerno. I started as a prosecutor. Kaya kapa ko yung kriminalo, pati yung mga criminals.
That is why, Mr. President, I was asking during my line of questioning a while ago, addressed to former Senator De Lima, why did she not file cases when she was the head of the Commission on Human Rights? She investigated, allegedly, the DDS, if there is a right term for it. She did not file any cases. You were present, Mr. President, when Senator De Lima, or when she was the chair then of the CHR, you were present during the investigation, if I am not mistaken, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
And the president, when I asked him, denied that there was an existence of the Davao Death Squad. My question lang, Senator De Lima, bakit hindi kayo nag-file ng mga kaso kung talagang naniniwala po kayo na meron ho talagang death squad? Why did you not file cases immediately when he was just still a mayor?
Yes, Your Honor, nasagot ko na po yun.
Hindi mo nga
Dahil
sinasagot
yung mga pwede talagang mga maging witnesses ay hindi pa willing, takot pa na mag-testify against the former mayor.
All right, when you were Secretary of Justice, you had all the power. You were a very, very powerful cabinet member under the Aquino administration. Why did you not pursue it?
Because at that time, wala na nga hong nagiging resulta ng mga nagiging investigation din. Because again,
Madam Chair,
mahirap
Madam
kunin-
Chair, Madam Senator, you were a very, very powerful member of the cabinet during the Aquino administration. You had all the resources. You had the NBI at your disposal. Lahat ng mga government agencies were under your disposal. You had the ear of the president. Bakit hindi kayo nag-file ng kaso laban kay Mayor Duterte?
At that time, the relevant, real evidence, testimonial evidence, wala pa po sa aking disposal. Although I did try, yung sinabi ko po kanina, na-refer ko na muna sa NBI. So, kaya lang, yun ang naging report, binalik nila sa akin. Now, they're trying, pero nahihirapan din sila na i-access yung mga witnesses.
Mr. President,
Yung
Mr. Chair.
sinasabi po kanina ni former President Duterte na Davao is the safest city, I think that is belied by statistics. I don't have the exact statistics now, but I read certain data. It's not the safest city. It has
So what is
among
the safest city,
highest,
as far as you
I
know?
would not know. It was it registered as among those with highest data on killings or murders. So how can it be a safe city?
Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, with the permission of Senator Jinggoy?
I think the former president wants to answer the accusations, the statements
Mr. President,
of former
yes, you're
senator.
recognized.
Maraming namatay, sir. Marami talaga. Thousands, I would say, from yung naging mayor ako. Marami. Ito yan sila. Dito yan sila lahat. And they would tell you, si Danao, si Koy, si Yambua. Ito si Senator Bato. Maraming namatay, pero ang namatay, sir, mga kriminal. Alam mo kasi ang Davao is a crossroad kasi ang unang nag-bloom sa Mindanao, tagaroon ka man, sir, ang Davao. Kaya saan yung progressive at saan yung pera negosyo, nandoon rin yung mga kriminal kasi ang negosyante pati ang kriminal magkasama yan. Kung saan yung pera, mga negosyante, nandoon yung mga kriminal. Kaya ganon. Kapag kabubo ka na mayor at hindi mo takot kang makulong, Ako, di makulong, di makulong. I can make the confession now, if you want.
Mr. Chair.
Talagang niyayari ko. Pero wag mo naman, mga pulis kawawa naman. Meron akong death squad. Pero hindi yung mga pulis. Sila rin yung mga gangster. Yung isang
Mr. Chair.
gangster, utusan ko, patayin mo yan, kaya kung hindi mo patayin yan, patayin kita ngayon. Bakit mo isakripisyo yan sila? Alam mo, sir, ganito, ha? Mabutit na lang nandito, if you give me time. Ang pulis, sir, kawawa. Hindi mo alam, ito, nandito itong mga... Pag ang pulis na pahilan ng kaso, sir, suspended yan. Wala ng pagkain yan sa... The day that the suspension is issued, that day, ang pulis wala ng pagkain, ang mga pamilya nila wala ng pera, ang mga bata wala ng pamasahe, hinto lahat. Paralyze ang pamilya ng pulis. Hindi ninyo alam yan. Kaya may kaibigan kayo ng pulis, tanungin ninyo. Yan ang buhay ng pulis. Kaya protektado ko yan sila. Pagka in the fulfillment of duty, sabi ko sa kanila, magpakamatay ako sa inyo. Pero pag nag-abuso kayo, nagpatay kayo ng tao, nag-hold up kayo, nag-kidnap kayo, putang ina, ako mismo ang papatay sa inyo.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. President,
kayong
Mr.
magpahuli.
President, okay, ako muna may tanong. Kasi medyo nalito rin po ako. So, ibig niyo sabihin, gusto niyo proteksyonan yung pulis, ayaw niyo silang gamitin sa maipit sila kasi kung masuspend sila, kawawa pamilya niya. Tas nabanggit niyo, may sarili kayo ngayong tinayo na hit squad. Is that what you're trying to tell us? Para hindi po kami nalilito po. I mean, can we be very clear?
Hindi naman death
Salitang,
squad.
salitang, ano po ito? Salitang diretso. Opo.
Hindi naman death squad. Basta alam ng tao sa Davao na nandyan ako at magkamali ka and you commit a heinous crime at walang mapuntahan yung agrabyado, ako yan.
And then how do you remedy the situation, Mr. President? Or how did you remedy those situations na nalapitan ka?
When I am called for another investigation, sir, sabihin ko, hindi ko man ito drama. Tanungin niyo ako ulit, tapos, my experience, 73 years old na ako, sir. So, in a few years, 2-3 years, may sakit na rin ako. Gusto ko iwanan yung lahat para malaman.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Just one last statement.
last,
Your Honor, I cannot help myself.
No, excuse me. Senator Estrada has the floor. Merong intervention gusto rito. If you will
Sige,
permit it.
okay.
Okay, Senator Bato, go ahead.
Yeah, I just would like to put on record na the statement of our resource person, Attorney Laila de Lima, na Davao, dinidisclaim niya palagi na Davao is not the safest place in the Philippines. So what does that make of all these awards that was received by Davao City? Not only the LG of Davao City, the Davao City Police Office, ay palaging Best City Police Office of the Year. Halos forever na eh. Kaya there came a point na yung Davao City Police Office ay hindi na sinasali sa best competition as far as unit performance is concerned dahil yung ibang mga syudad hindi na makakatanggap ng award dahil Davao City palagi na nanalo based on record yan sa Camp Crame. Ngayon, it is, ako mismo, I'm from Davao. I can tell you, Davao City is the safest place anywhere I go in the Philippines. The safest place for law-abiding citizens and the most dangerous place for the criminals. Talagang pag gumawa ka ng krimen ng Davao, ako, pulis ako ng Davao, hahabulin talaga kita. Hahanapin talaga kita, Mr. Chairman. Pag ikaw gumawa ng krimen sa aking syudad, hahabulin talaga kita. Kaya po,
Mr. Chair.
ay, para pagbigyan sila, sige, sila na naman.
Sige po. Okay lang?
Okay.
Okay na, sige.
Okay lang,
Just
okay lang.
last statement before I
sige.
wrap up, before I give the floor to Senator Risa. I just would like to put on record the statements made by former Senator De Lima. During the investigation here in the Senate, during her term, when she was still a senator, wala pa rin nakita ebidensya tungkol dyan sa mga DDS na tinatawag. Nung CHR chairman siya, wala pa rin siyang, wala rin nangyari sa mga investigation at wala pa rin nakita ng ebidensya. Nung secretary siya ng DOJ, which is a very very powerful cabinet position, wala po rin siyang mga nakitang ebidensya. At hanggang ngayon, yun pa rin po ang sinasabi niya, wala pa rin gustong mag-testify, wala pa rin gustong wala pa rin siyang kinakasuhan. So I think that is a matter of incompetence, Mr. Chair.
I take
Thank you.
Mr.
strong
Chair,
exception to that, Your Honor.
Okay, to be fair, to be fair. Sige. The chair will be fair. Excuse me, everybody, Mr. President, teka muna. Sige,
Hindi ko po
yes,
nagustuhan.
Senator De Lima, sige,
Thank you.
short ano lang, short.
Hindi
sige,
ko po
response.
nagustuhan yung ganung conclusion na
Okay.
wala akong ginawa o that incompetent. Malayo pong description sa akin yan. I always do my job. Depende sa mga circumstances, depende rin sa kung ano talaga yung makakalap. And hindi ho tama na nung Senate inquiry, kasi nandun po si Matubato, present ko nga po. Pero after I presented him, inalis na po ako as Senate chairperson. Now, ano yung tungkol sa safest city?
Ma'am,
What-
let's
what
ma'am,
exactly
excuse me.
is the standard?
Can I stop you there? Wag na natin, let's not debate on the safest city. I mean, focus po tayo, no? A Philippine war on illegal drugs.